Rosie Murray, welcome to Profile.
Thank you. It's so good to be here.
It's trust me, I'm so excited. So many different kind of things to talk about. But let's start with a Cliff Note style intro. So broadcaster, actress, comedian, cultural force, so many different kinds of things in between. That awards that you have won, programs you've done, radio, television, the screen, the stage, from Jack Shiver to JBC, from pantomime to prime time. First child, only girl. So there's a first child syndrome there that we'll talk a little bit about. A woman of many firsts and fearless reinventions, I would say as well. Rose from heartbreak and health crises to create, to heal, to serve. We'll talk about some of that. On stage, on screen, on air, and even in your kitchen.
Yes, ma'am.
Even in your kitchen. So, Rosie Murray, you've lived your truth in so many ways and continuing to do that. But let's start at the beginning by talking a little bit about, where you come from. So, born in Kingston, but moved across several parishes. Explain.
Several parishes. So, St. Joseph's Hospital is where I was born, but my father and mother were actually living in Reach in Portland. So even though I was born in Kingston, I left and went to Reach as a little baby. And then my father got the principal, he became principal of Jack's River. At the time it was primary school. So we left Reach and went to Jack's River. And I spent round about early years, up to maybe about 5 or 6. And then we moved on to Baileystown in Clarendon, at the border of Clarendon and Manchester. And then there was the England story. So, we have enough thing. And then we actually ended up in Kingston by All Saints, all-age school.
Let's step back a second before we get to England and talk about growing up and the early days in Jamaica. What was that experience like? First of all, just moving from parish to parish.
It was always very challenging because I'm teacher daughter, Miss Murray daughter, okay? And my father especially was extremely stern, a disciplinarian. And then I was just like a fast picnic that just felt from I remember myself just considering life to be an adventure. So I was always getting into scrapes. I was always asking questions. I was always getting into places that I should not have been and getting up to tricks that I should not have gotten up to and imitating people from very, very young. But what I recall most, or what really have some fond memories, is summers in the country with grandma and grandpa and the cousins, learning how to carry water, dealing with the outside kitchen, dealing with how they used to hang up the tripe and whatnot inside of the outside kitchen, the roast yam, you scrape it with the saltfish. Let me tell you, man, and the stories, because my grandfather was a storyteller. They used to talk a lot, but when him talk, him always have something that he would leave with you. And then the cousins know, the memories and the games that we used to play. Amazing. So
that was the environment in which you were growing up. And you said earlier that as a part of that, you were for a long while an only child. And your father was treating you as if you were, he was teaching you absolutely everything.
Yes,
you like his first boy child.
Like that first boy child. So Mommy hadn't kicked in as yet with the rest of the stuff, but I was daddy's girl at that time, so I went everywhere with him. So my father, apart from being an educator, he fancied himself to be everything. He was plumber, he was farmer, and he wanted me to learn everything. So I would be with him side by side. I learned how to milk the cow. Still not good at it. What the pigs ate, because he had all kind of animals.
While having a full-time job at.
Yes, man. How to clean off the eggs from the chicken, how to feed the chicken when one's sick, what you give them, when you give them the aloe vera and whatnot. So, it was, I would say, a well-rounded, youthful experience.
What was mom like?
My mother, she would try to explain things to me, and she would try to kind of shield me from that in a sense, but then she would also use him as threat. If you don't do X or Y, you're going to tell your father. You know what I mean? So she used that as her kind of control. What I really am happy about later on in life was the fact that she taught me everything about womanhood. She also taught me empathy. She also fostered my belief in God. My mother was a serious God-fearing woman. And it was something that was always, we had to say the grace, and we had to pray, and we had to learn how to pray from you're a child. Every night you have to say your prayers. When you wake up in the morning, you have to give thanks. And, just sense of personal care and hygiene, that sort of a thing. I could never ever be in the house and my hair don't comb, I could never ever be in there in torn clothes, because needle and thread is there. So I'm going to teach you how to sew and how to do this. So I was taught all of that from very, very young. And then also because I was a quick child, a quick learner, she would lay it on, Yes, you need how to learn how to crochet, you need to learn how to knit, you need to learn how to take care of your brothers, how to bathe them, that sort of a thing. So she was more the disciplinarian teacher on the quieter, more religious side. But she never spoiled me.
A lot to do, and a range of different kind of things that you're learning from both parents, as well as a range of different kind of values.
Right.
And things that you would have to figure out how to put into play now and to use when your family decided that they were going to go to Britain.
Yes.
So you went to, is it Dorset?
Dorset.
Tell me about the experience in Dorset.
South England. Wow. So my father, both parents actually ended up going. My father was on an exchange program. My mother was going there to study home economics. And so I spent that period living with my dad.
I'm going to cut you right there because we have to take our first break. On Profile, my guest is actress, producer, and writer Rosie Murray-Tingling, and we're back with you after these messages.